Have you ever wondered why you don't hear airplane sounds at night? It's a question that's likely crossed your mind, especially if you live near an airport. Many of us, at some point or the other, have been lulled into a sense of tranquility by the quietude of the night only to have it broken by the distant roar of an aircraft. Yet, as night descends, that roar seems to fade away. Why is that? Is it because the airplanes stopped flying? Well, no, that's a common misconception. The reality is, airplanes fly around the clock day and night. So, what's behind this nighttime silence? There are three main factors at play here: distance, atmospheric conditions, and last but not least, aircraft design. Firstly, let's talk about distance. Airplanes fly at high altitudes, often cruising at 35,000 feet or more. That's about 6.5 miles straight up. At these heights, the sound of an airplane's engines is significantly diminished before it reaches our ears on the ground. This effect is even more pronounced at night when ambient noise levels are generally lower. Next, we have atmospheric conditions. This might be a bit of a surprise, but the air around us isn't just empty space. It's a dynamic and ever-changing medium that can influence how sound travels. Factors like temperature, humidity, wind speed, and direction all play a role in how sound waves propagate, and these can change dramatically from day to night. Lastly, there's the design of the aircraft themselves. Modern airplanes are marvels of engineering, designed not only for speed and efficiency, but also with noise reduction in mind. The engines, the shape of the wings, the materials used, all these aspects are meticulously crafted to minimize noise, leading to quieter flights. So it's not that there are fewer planes at night, it's that you're less likely to hear them. Let's delve into why this is. Firstly, the distance between you and the airplane plays a significant role. You see, sound travels in waves, and like any wave, it's subject to the Doppler effect. This effect causes the frequency of a wave for an observer to be different than its source, depending on the speed and direction of both. In simpler terms, as an airplane moves away from you, its sound seems to decrease in pitch and volume, which is why a passing plane's roar diminishes as it flies off into the distance. Now consider the altitude of planes at night. They typically cruise at higher altitudes, which increases the distance sound waves must travel to reach the ground. This distance, combined with the Doppler effect, makes the sound less likely to reach our ears. So even if a plane is roaring through the nighttime sky, you might not hear it at all. The distance factor is just one part of the equation. Now let's consider the atmospheric conditions. The atmosphere isn't just important for weather forecasts, it also affects how sound travels. It's an invisible yet formidable conductor of sound waves, with conditions such as temperature and wind direction playing a pivotal role in how we perceive sound. Now, let's consider temperature. During the day, the sun heats the earth, creating warm air near the ground. Sound waves move faster in warm air, so they tend to bend upwards away from the ground, a process known as refraction. At night, the situation reverses. The ground cools down, and so does the air close to it, while the air higher up remains relatively warmer. This temperature inversion causes sound waves to refract or bend downwards, making them more likely to reach our ears. However, the cooler temperatures at night can cause sound waves, especially those emanating from high-flying aircraft, to bend away from the ground. Now, you might be asking, what about wind? Well, you're right to wonder. Wind direction can indeed influence sound propagation. Sound travels with the wind, so if the wind is blowing from the source of the sound towards you, you're more likely to hear it. Conversely, if the wind is blowing in the opposite direction, it can carry the sound away from you, making it less audible. However, at night, when everything is generally calmer, and the wind speed decreases, the influence of wind on sound propagation diminishes. The result? The sounds of aircraft become even more elusive to our ears. So, there you have it. The atmospheric conditions play a significant role in why you might not hear airplanes at night. But remember, the story doesn't end here. The design of the aircraft, from its engines to its aerodynamics, also plays a crucial part in the sounds it produces, and how far those sounds travel. Atmospheric conditions do play a significant role, but the design of the aircraft is also a crucial element. The design of an airplane can significantly impact the amount of noise it produces. Modern aircraft are meticulously engineered with a keen focus on reducing noise pollution. The aircraft's shape, the materials used, the engines, and even the landing gear all play a part in how much noise an airplane emits. The engines, for instance, are a major noise source. They've undergone significant improvements over the years. Modern high bypass ratio jet engines are not only more efficient but also quieter. The large fan at the front of the engine encases most of the noisy parts, muffling the sound that reaches the ground. Additionally, innovative noise reduction technologies are making their way into aircraft design. These include chevrons, the saw-toothed extensions on the engine exhaust nozzles, which help break up the noise-producing turbulent airflows. So, the design of the plane itself plays a part in the night's quietness. So, why don't we hear airplane sounds at night? The reasons are as diverse as they are fascinating. We've learned that distance plays a crucial role. Airplanes often fly at higher altitudes during the night, putting them further away from our ears and making their sounds less likely to reach us. Next, we delved into the intriguing world of atmospheric conditions. The cooler temperatures of nighttime can cause sound waves to bend upwards, away from the ground and our eager ears. Additionally, the absence of daytime noises at night means there's less ambient sound to mask the distant rumble of a jet engine. Finally, the design of the aircraft itself contributes to this nighttime silence. Modern planes are engineered to be quieter, with noise-reducing technologies and more efficient engines. So even when they're flying overhead, they're whispering rather than shouting. So, the next time you enjoy a quiet night, remember the science behind the silence.